Hey everyone, DarkDragoon here with Season 2, Episode 16 of my FTB Modpack Let's Play. So today we're going to get right started with where we left off last episode, namely playing around with some forestry machines. But before I do that, I'm actually going to make a little item that's going to be very helpful, particularly once we get our quarry that we're sort of working toward going. And it's actually something that was requested in the comments, so I thought I'd go ahead and make this little upgrade thing. So first thing we're going to need is a barrel. And if we put, let's take a look here, barrel, here, this is what we're making, the extra dimensional storage upgrade for the barrel. You can see the recipe here. So it's endered pearl on top and leather on the bottom. Okay, it should be something along these lines. Blaze rods on the side and surround it with dark iron ingots, which you guys should remember how to make. And we get an extra dimensional barrel storage upgrade. Cool. So this thing is really cool. So right now, as we're looking at these barrels, we can see that the maximum that our barrels have been able to hold were 64 stacks of any single item. But with a barrel upgrade, we are going to change that to, I believe it is 1024 stacks, 1024 stacks. So yeah, so now we should be able to accommodate lots and lots of cobble, which we will get lots and lots of cobble. And we might be able to find some stuff to do with that cobble sometime down the road. But for now, it's literally just going to pile up in our system. And so I wanted to go ahead and, as per viewer suggestion, go ahead and upgrade this thing so we can accommodate that. So there we go. Cool. So that done, let's hop over here. You guys can see none of this stuff's working. Now, I actually was trying to figure out, okay, how do I keep these machines from running constantly? And I found a solution. A lot of these forestry machines will actually keep siphoning off power off the system, whether they need it or not. So if we turn on if we go to our energy cell, you can see there's redstone control options. And I just set it so that in order for it to empty out its energy, it needs to get a redstone signal. And we put a lever here, and there we go. So we're going to flip the switch because we need to do some work on our machines. And you can see our thermionic fabricator here is already heating up. So I'm just going to put a couple pieces of glass in here. And you can see once it gets up the line, it goes ahead and melts some of the glass into liquid glass. That is good. That's what we need. So we need, we're going to make ourselves a couple machines. And to do that, we're going to need to do, not bronze, sorry, copper. Take our copper like this, with a two bits of redstone, and we're going to get copper electron tubes. And you can see it eats up a little bit of the liquid glass to do that. And then we're going to do the same with some tin. And we'll get tin electron tubes. And once again, a little bit of liquid glass. I think that's all we're going to need for now. So I'm going to, with that done, we're going to hop over into our carpenter. And we're going to need 2 of these, because we're making 2 separate machines. And you can see once we put the stuff here in the inventory, it'll make our little circuit board. Cool. And like I said, we need 2, so there we go. Take the stuff out, pull our circuit boards out. Alrighty. And if we want, we can remove this recipe. Works for me. Alright, so just what am I making? Well, I usually like to start off with my forestry career with a peat bog. Simple to make, pretty cheap on the resources, and it's going to produce a lot of stuff that will help us power lots of forestry stuff. Oh, I just remembered. Flip that just so that we're not wasting energy. So here we go. So we're going to start out by making this peat bog, and to do that, we're going to need to get ourselves some bronze in this sort of pattern. Now I'm actually going to need another set of that, so there we go. Just gonna get ourselves a bit more bronze. That should be good. And we're going to make ourselves 2 of these sturdy casings. So, that done, basically we can just take our casings like so. The Peat Bog calls for the copper tubes, so put those there. And should be some glass on the corners. Right. And we're going to get a Peat Bog. Cool. And the other half of this system that we're going to need, it's actually pretty much the same recipe but with the tin electron tubes, will get us a turbary. Cool. Basically what these 2 items do is the Peat Bog will plant our Peat Bog and basically be the source of resupplying it with whatever raw materials it needs, and the turbary's purpose is purely for harvesting. So this is our grower, this is our harvester. Cool. So that done, let's go ahead and toss our excess tubes away. And we can actually put away some of these resources, I think, too. Don't need all of this on me at all times. Let's see. Trying to remember where we were keeping our glass. Alright, so Peat Bog, turbary. Cool. There's actually something else I think I wanted to do, and there's not really a good place that I've set up to go ahead and handle this. So, alright, give me a minute. I will get together what I need to move forward, and I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back, and as you guys can see, I set myself up another one of these redstone energy cells, and I pretty much wanted to set up a place where I could stick a redstone energy cell specifically for the purpose of being able to take it around with me, and a place where I can power it up. So pretty much whenever this thing runs dry, I can just put it right back here and it'll charge up. So it's pretty much full, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it. And you can see it pretty much just connects to a little line here that sticks up out of the ground. No big deal. So that done, let's go ahead and take a look where we want to put this thing. I'm thinking somewhere either out here. I'm thinking maybe out here somewhere. Yeah, this could work. We already have farms there, so why not farms running this way, right? I'm thinking maybe about here-ish. So I don't like the fact that all this ground is 1 level higher. Might have to fix that, but you know what? Why not? Let me grab a few things and we'll fix that non-level terrain thing here in just a minute. Alright, let's see here. There's actually another little machine that we're going to make here just for the express purpose of clearing out some of that land, and it is called the filler. It's from Buildcraft. It's not too difficult to make, so we're gonna need a crafting table and a chest, so I'll just get that put together real quick. Crafting table, chest, and then we're gonna need a couple sticks. There we go. And we're gonna turn those into redstone torches. And then we're gonna take our redstone torches with a bit of lapis on top and turn them into landmarks. So we should have almost everything. We're going to need a couple more sticks. So we're going to make ourselves some gears. Something we've made quite a few of, I think, at this point. Pretty simple. We're going to take all of that. I need a bit more iron and gold. Okay, and we're just going to take that, iron gear, and finally, I don't know why I'm making so many. I really don't need this many. But, you know what? Iron gear is always useful. I'm not going to waste the gold. I'm going to stow our iron gears. Didn't actually need 4. I don't know why. I think I was in the mindset of making engines. So, there we go. And it should be something like this. Now we're going to need a landmark on top, and then I think black dye and yellow dye. Yes, there we go. Will give us a filler. This is a really cool machine. It runs off Buildcraft power, so we can use our redstone energy cell easily. I'm going to also steal 2 of these energy conduits here. And then we're going to need a bit of brick. I'm going to grab that many just for future. And sure, that many. Cool. So I'm going to stow... No, I'm going to stow some of this other junk that we don't need. And the flowers. Don't need flowers. I don't really know where I'm keeping my hardened glass. I think I've just been sort of keeping it in here with all the red power and random guffins. So, filler. Right. This thing is really cool. The way this thing works is we forgot our landmarks. Pretty simply, actually, once we actually have our landmarks on us. So, the landmarks are cool. Basically, these are what we're going to use to sort of mark out the area that we want the filler to play with. So, I'm going to go, say, here. This seems like it could be a good spot. There. Let's say, let me grab a lever real quick so I can show you guys another feature of these landmarks. Not too big a deal. Stick, cobble, lever. Cool. I really should just keep levers on me at all times. Maybe put them in my canvas bag. Yeah. So, if we put a lever on this thing and flip it, you can see it shows us these cool little lasers that will outline the area that gives us right angles, so that we can actually line this up properly without having to do some counting. So we're going to put another one there. Then we're going to follow this laser all the way through, let's say, to there. Yeah, it looks good. And this should be all we need. Technically, we could also go up, but we're not going to need to. So it's no, not there. I wanted to flip that lever. Okay. So now that we've got our landmarks down, if we right-click on this landmark, you'll see a little red laser will fly out, and will connect to each of the other landmarks that it's connected to, and we'll box out a little area here. Cool. So now, if we take our filler and put it right here, you'll see the landmarks will pop off and our area will be outlined. Cool. So now, basically what we have to do is we've got to hook up some kind of Buildcraft power to it. You could do this with an engine if you wanted, but I like this because now that we have our portable system, it'll work perfectly for what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off for now, because I'm not quite ready to be messing around with it totally. But basically you'll see as we click on our filler, it's got a little bit of a crafting recipe here along with a inventory. Basically the way this works is if the filler has a number of different recipes that you can put into it, and that defines what the filler is going to be doing. What we're going to be doing is flattening the area, and the recipe for that is like so. Now, to flatten it doesn't actually need any resources unless it's trying to raise up an area to meet it, but since we're just removing dirt, we shouldn't need anything. So the second I flip this on and let this go, 50 is probably fine, we should be able to see, there it goes, this area start to clear out very, very quickly. Oh, turn the magnet on so that I could pick up redstone energy cells earlier. Forgot to turn it off. So there we go. And yeah, it'll just clear this area out. Cool, huh? And it just drops everything on the ground. Now this is actually a feature that likely will be changing soon, as this thing is not entirely meant to be used as a quarry. And that's not how I'm going to use it, because I think that's kind of a pointless way to use it. But yeah, you can see it drops off everything onto the ground. We get a mess of dirt and flowers and all assortment of random stuff. And of course, if we had put this further down into the ground, it would have filled out, it would have emptied out a bigger space. So now that we have this, we can go ahead and pick up our energy cell and our conduits and our filler, because these things are all done. Don't need to be here anymore. So I'm going to pop that off and you see everything will disappear. Cool. So let me sleep through the night, and then we'll get our forestry thing going. So I'll be right back. Alright, I am back, and pretty much what I'm going to do first of all, just before we go ahead and start getting our farm put down, is I'm going to actually figure out exactly what the area that we're going to be using up is. The main reason for that is just I like to know sort of how big of an area I'm using. And so for our peat bog, we're going to need, I believe, a 15 by 15 area. And if it starts, let's see, if it starts here-ish, say here, okay, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15, okay, and then 15 the other way as well. Should be something like that. So the reason why I marked this out is so I can find the middle. It should be here. Just to double check. Yeah. Because this should be... Yeah. So there's our middle. Let's find it on this side too. Right there. So where these two intersect should be roughly here-ish. Cool. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build this up, or sort of raise it up. Trying to decide how high I want to raise this up. We'll just raise it up 1. And right here is where I'm going to put our peat bog. Just like that. Cool. Obviously, you could have this on the ground if you like, if you prefer, but I'm going to have it up here. So, if we look at our peat bog, you can see it's missing resources, and what it needs is some of this bog earth. So let's take a look at what's required to make that. So to make bog earth, we're going to need some kind of water, some kind of dirt, and some kind of sand. Cool. Not too bad. So basically what we need to do is we need to figure out how we're going to get water into this system and auto-craft us some bog earth. I'm just going to fill in this area a little bit just so that it starts out looking kind of nice, and it gives us a little bit of a platform to work on. That looks good. So, yeah, we're going to need just to find a way to auto-craft this stuff. So let me get some things together, and I'll meet you back right here. Alright, so I've been sort of thinking back and forth about how exactly I want to be able to get water into this system, and I think I'm going to go the route of red power. There's actually a way I wish I would like to do it, but unfortunately we can't do that yet, so we're going to have to make ourselves a couple red power machines. And the first one we're going to make is a deployer. You can see the recipe here, pretty simple. We have quite a bit of, you can see I've gotten myself a couple more of these blank plans so that we can go ahead and actually, okay, yeah, it needs cobble. So that we can go ahead and make new plans for all these things we're making. So we're going to need one deployer, and we're going to need one filter. We're going to need to put one filter there, because the second item we're going to make is a retriever. That's not how you spell that word. Retriever. There we go. So, should be, just need a bit of brass and a bit of animal hide, which we should have. I think we just need one. So this should be something like this. Where'd our ender pearls go? And a bit of animal hide there. And we're going to need a blue alloy ingot, which we should have right over here. I'm going to grab a couple because we're also going to want to grab these for future reference. So alloy ingot will give us a retriever. Again, I'm going to go ahead and make a plan for that. So there we go. So I believe we should have all of the machines we need for that. So to power our retriever, we're going to need some blue trick energy. And so I'm going to I think one will be enough. I don't think this thing's really going to need too much power. And it's night again, so let me see through that. Okay, so let's see, we have a way to get water. The last thing I wanted to go ahead and do now was put together an auto crafting table, and we haven't made one of those yet, so I'll go ahead and show you guys. We're going to need a regular crafting table, and then we're going to need 4 wood gears. Pretty simple. Gears, so we'll take our crafting table and surround it with gears, and we'll get us an auto crafting table. Cool. So let's grab some dirt and some sand, as those are the only 2 other things we need. Thinking just a stack of each should be good for now. Also thinking I'm going to craft another chest real quick, just as a temporary. There we go. And there we go, cool. So, we'll run out here, and we'll start setting some of these things up. So, let's see. We're going to want our crafting table probably, let's put it here. And this is pretty simple. Basically, I'm going to go ahead and take this bucket and put it there. If we put our recipe in here like so, you can see it'll tell us it can make bog earth. Now if I were to click on this, it'll go ahead and use up the materials, and we won't be able to do anything more. But if we put an inventory next to it, like a chest, and keep this chest supplied with the things that it needs, every time we pump out using like a buildcraft pipe, it will go ahead and leave one last stack of this stuff and draw a little bit of the materials from this inventory. That's why we need to set up a way to get water automatically into this chest, because if we don't, the second that we pump out bog earth, it's going to dump this water bucket out and leave us with an empty bucket. So we need a way to turn empty buckets into full buckets. And unless I'm mistaken, we should be able to build this out one more layer. Which I'm just going to go ahead and do. Because, like I said, it kind of helps me to visually see exactly what I'm working with. So, like I said, that done, we need to find some way of getting water automatically in here. And to do that, I think, trying to sort of decide here exactly how I want to set this up. Alright, give me a second to sort of figure out exactly where we're going to set this up, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm just about ready to get this thing completely set up. Before I do, I'm going to go ahead and make myself some of these diamond transport pipes. So, somewhat expensive, but very, very useful little buildcraft pipe. So, as you guys can see, I built up an area around here a little bit, and I actually moved this over one. And so let's go ahead and get back in here and set up our recipe for our bog earth. There we go. Now I went ahead and grabbed myself a wooden transport pipe, and I'm going to go ahead and put a diamond pipe right here. This is what's going to pump out the bog earth into our peat bog. And once we get some of that going, we can go ahead and set up our pipe the way we want it. So The last thing we really need to do is set up a way to get water in here. So to do that, we're going to need to set up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put this pipe here, and you guys will understand why in just a minute. But that's where we're going to put it. So we're going to take our deployer, which we made earlier, and we're just going to put it right there. Okay? And into the deployer, we're going to put an empty bucket. Simple enough. And behind it, with the pulling side facing the deployer, we're going to put our filter. So that's going to go right there. And at the moment, we're going to grab this water bucket out of here, and we're going to put the water bucket into the filter. Basically what's going to happen is when this redstone tick that we're going to apply goes off, it's going to take this empty bucket, fill it with water, as we're going to put water right here, and then this filter says, hey, only full buckets can go this way. That way the filter, when it ticks, won't try to pull out empty buckets. Now, that's pretty much our get water into the bucket and into the chest system. Now we just need to set up the how do we get empty buckets out of the chest, and that we're going to do with a retriever. Now you can see the retriever needs some blue trick power, but what we can do is we can go ahead and take this empty bucket out of there and tell it the retriever is only going to pull out empty buckets. That way this chest will never, obviously if we have a full bucket in here, the only thing that'll make use of it is the crafting table. So now all we need to do is set up another pneumatic tube, just like so, and then grab a couple buckets and get our water source worked out, and we should be good to go. So let's pop over here. I'll just go ahead and make, two, just in case. Never know. And I can't actually remember if I've made a timer on camera, but I went ahead and made myself one. So here's the recipe. You get these stone wafers from smelting your smooth stone down. You get 2 per. And basically you just take these things with redstone to make the stone wires, and then like so to make the anodes, and like so to make a cathode. And then if you take a, which I don't have a piece of smooth stone, if you put a piece of smooth stone here, you get your pointer. And when you combine those things together, you get a timer. And this thing is really cool, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what that does here in just a second. So let's go ahead and fill ourselves up some water manually. This should be the last time we have to do this. 1, 2, we'll just get 2 full buckets just so that we have it. So there we go. And there we go. So we got ourselves a water source. Cool. Simple enough. And we're going to go ahead and put a bucket here. And this should all be set up. So if I put this empty bucket here, that should work. So the last thing we really need to do is this. Obviously, this retriever needs some kind of redstone signal, or not redstone signal. Well, it does need a redstone signal, but it also needs a blue electric signal. So I think, let's see, we're also going to need. Actually, what I'm going to do is I've made this on camera before, so I'm going to run inside and make a battery box, and then sleep, and I'll be back. Okay, so, oh, creepers. This is what happens when I sleep through the night and then don't pay attention to where the creepers are. This is not particularly good. Would like for them to not be here to blow up. Okay, let me deal with these creepers and I'll be back. Okay, that was terrifying. So I'm going to just put this bat box here, and we can put our solar panel right on top of it, and that should be transferring blue trick power straight to our retriever. Should be, at least. Should be. There it goes. It's going to take a little while, but yeah. That's actually really cool. I was planning on just doing, setting up some complicated stuff with some wiring, but that actually is much easier, and it didn't cost us too much. So the last thing we really need to do is set up just a timer. We can put it, on the deployer? No. Some of these things you can put on some machines, but we can put it there. And I'm actually just going to break it and move it We could actually flip it around with a screwdriver, but I don't want to do that. We're going to need 3 bits of wiring, and we can actually, if we shift click, can put them right on there like that. And you can see as soon as it ticks, it's doing its job. Obviously the retriever isn't doing its job, but once it will work once it gets up to full power. And it'll take a little while since it's trying to charge up both this battery box and the retriever. But as is, this is working. As you can see, it definitely put a water bucket in here. Obviously the retriever part's not working just yet, but it certainly will. So if I put this bucket back in there, you'll see it. Now we have 2 full water buckets. So now we can do that, and we're good to go. So really the only thing we need is some way to pump our bog earth out, and I've actually already gotten a solution for that, and that is going to involve a bit of iron. Looks like we also need a iron chip, so let me make one of these real quick. Basically what I'm going to make is one of these autarkic iron gates. Very useful little thing. So this is going to take a minute, so I'll be back as soon as the autarkic gate is done. Alright, I'm back. I've got my autarkic iron gate, and I've got a regular iron gate. We're probably getting pretty close to the point where we need to call this episode, but I definitely want to get this peat bog finished. Basically what I did was I went ahead and just manually got myself some bog earth, got a little bit on me, and I put a piece into the green side. That way only bog earth will go into the green side of this diamond pipe, and nothing's in the blue, which means anything can go in blue. And there's actually a reason I set it up this way, because if I'm going to pump in the bog earth on the side, there's a chance that the peat bog will try to dump out its dirt, because it will produce dirt as it pulls bog earth out into its input pipe, and I don't want dirt flying back this way. Ultimately I want dirt going out a different path. So this is pretty much set up, and once we put our autarkic gate here, we'll tell it, I'm going to put some pipe wire on here. We're going to tell it, hey, when you get a red pipe signal, go ahead and emit an energy pulsar. Obviously it's not going to go right now because there's no pipe signal. So that's what we need this gate for. We're going to tell this gate to say, hey, when, let's see, let's say soil less than 25%. So when there's less than 1 stack of soil in the peat bog, it will emit a red pipe signal. There is, so our auto crafting system is working. And as it pulls out, you can see the buckets get pulled out and get converted into bog earth, which is flowing through our pipe and should be going into our system. So the last thing we really need to do now is set up some conduits here. I actually think I put this in the wrong spot. So should be something along these lines. Should work. Obviously this is just temporary. We're going to have other kinds of engines powering this, but for now the nice thing is this is really going to fly once it gets going. There it goes. And it's going to actually break some of this stuff that we put here for now, but I'm not too worried about that. It should start setting up our bog any minute now. There we go. And there it goes. Obviously, we're going to put some stuff underneath it here to even it out, but I mostly just wanted to show you guys how this works. It's pretty cool. I don't know how the water is staying floating in midair, but don't question it. It's best not to question it, probably. We've already run out of sand and dirt, but there you go. Peat bog. Basically what we're going to do is next episode we're going to finish this up, and I'm going to get this try to get this pretty self-automated, and basically set up the turberies so that we can start collecting all this peat. I'm also going to go underneath here and sort of put down some more stone bricks just to make it look nice between now and next episode. So look forward to that. So until then, this, like I said, this is about where we're going to have to call this episode. So this has been episode 16 of Season 2 of DarkDragoon's Feed the Beast Modpack Let's Play. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and stay tuned for next episode. Catch you guys later.